Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Oh, now you can hear me. Anyone who wants to move up, we appreciate that, but we look like we have a pretty nice full house, so appreciate that. I'm Deborah Yancey, the statewide ADA coordinator, and on behalf of DHR, the Department of Human Resources, we would like to welcome you. Oh, I thought they were talking to me. they were signaling someone else. I'd like to welcome our distinguished guests, our agency leaders, our community members, and our colleagues both in person and virtually. So we appreciate your time and energy and efforts of coming out today. Today we come together to celebrate the signing of the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, also known as the ADA. It's a landmark law that has opened doors and broken down barriers for millions of Americans. I want to thank Governor Meyer and his team for their continued support of this effort. For those of you watching live stream, you've seen some powerful quotes about the ADA. One that deeply resonates with me is from Senator Tammy Duckworth, and it states, "Whether some realize it or not, the ADA helps us all, because the truth is everyone is one moment away from being disabled." This is reality that I often speak about. Disability can affect any of us at any time. Another quote is from President George H.W. Bush, who signed the ADA into law, and he states, "We can take pride in how much the ADA has accomplished, yet there is much more to be done." Those words still ring true. As we reflect on how far we've come, let's also recognize the work ahead. Today is not only a celebration, but a call to action to ensure ADA's promise of inclusion, accessibility, and equal opportunity is fully realized for every Delawarean. Thank you. And now it's my pleasure to turn this over to the head of People and Culture, Richard Potter.
Governor Meyer, the honorable members of the Delaware General Assembly who have assembled, members of the governor's executive cabinet, distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends, good afternoon. Today, as we gather to commemorate the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, we honor not just the landmark law, but a profound promise that every individual, regardless of ability, deserves dignity, opportunity, and respect in every corner of our society, including our workplaces. The ADA has been a catalyst for change, opening doors that were once closed and challenging us to see ability where others only saw barriers. Yet the true spirit of ADA lives not only in statutes and courtrooms, but in the culture we cultivate every day at work. Laws can mandate access, but it is workplace culture that breathes life into inclusion. A truly inclusive workplace is one where accommodations are not seen as burdens, but as bridges to talent, innovation, and belonging. Whether it's an accessible workstation or flexible scheduling, these adjustments are just not legal requirements, they are profound affirmations of value and respect for each individual's contribution. But culture goes beyond compliance. It is found daily in our interactions, the open conversations, and the ongoing commitment to listen, learn, and adapt. It is the willingness of leaders and colleagues alike to engage in the interactive process, to ask not what must we do, but how can we do it better for everyone. As we look to the future, let us remember that the measure of our progress is not just in removal of barriers, but in the creation of belonging. The ADA's mission advances each time we choose empathy over indifference, action over inertia, and unity over division. Let us leave here resolved to build a workplace where every person's potential is not only recognized, but celebrated. Because when we foster a true culture of inclusion, we do more than comply with the law, we fulfill its promise. Let us be the generation that not only opens doors, but ensures everyone feels truly welcome on the other side. Thank you so much. At this time, I would like to introduce the Secretary for the Department of Human Resources, Dr. Yvonne Gordon, who will lead us through the rest of our program together.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to be here with you as we recognize the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. This is a moment to celebrate the progress we've made and to reaffirm our commitment to equality, access, and full participation for all. Let me take this moment to acknowledge all of you and thank you for joining us today. Governor Matt Meyer, State Treasurer Colleen Davis, please stand up, Colleen, because we have live stream, we want to see. Members of the General Assembly, my fellow cabinet members, thank you. State agency representatives. Great. Our community partners, thank you. Our dedicated state employees, those online, and members of the public, thank you. Your presence here speaks to how much this moment and this movement matters to Delaware. The ADA is a landmark civil rights law. It opened doors to jobs, services, and public spaces. And just as importantly, it challenged us to think differently about equality, dignity, and inclusion. The Department of Human Resources carries that legacy forward through our policies, training, and workforce initiatives. We are committed to removing barriers, expanding opportunities, and making state government more inclusive and accessible for everyone. That includes challenging outdated stereotypes and promoting what is possible when we focus on capabilities and not limitations. Thank you for being part of this work and for everything you do to help make Delaware a place where everyone can thrive. Now it's my honor to introduce someone who continues to lead with these values, our Governor, Matt Meyer.
Good afternoon. It's great to be here. This might be the 35th anniversary, but it's the first one that I am celebrating as your governor, and it's an honor to be here. I am a Delaware kid. I grew up here, north of Wilmington and then in Wilmington. And I, as a kid, for a variety of reasons, always wanted to go to Africa. And when I was in college, I had an opportunity to go to Africa. I'd studied, taken a class on Kenya, and I went to Kenya. And I'll never forget, I get off the plane. I thought I'd see a very, very poor country. I got off the plane, and it was beautiful. The roads were beautiful. The weather was beautiful. The people were so kind. They took me to a beautiful suburb where we had a beautiful house that our study abroad program was staying in. And I remember going to bed the first night saying, why does everybody say this is such a poor country? Next morning we woke up and they took us into the city center. in the city center, the first thing I noticed was that there were hundreds of people who had all forms of disability. Some had visual impairments. Some had hearing impairments. Others didn't have limbs or couldn't walk and were literally on their hands on the street dragging themselves around. And through my time studying abroad there and later going back to live there, I learned to understand that even in societies that we call poor, there are wealthy people, and sometimes very wealthy people. But societies are poor and underdeveloped, I think, often not because there is no wealth there, but because how the wealth is distributed, because people are excluded, because we look at people born a certain way from certain families or who don't have resources and give them no chance. And from that time, as a 20-something-year-old, I said, that is the core of who I want to be. Someone who, in whatever community, state, country I live, make sure I'm extending that wealth to everyone. As I look around, as I look around particularly at the heroes who are here, many of whom have encountered and addressed barriers every single day that are incredibly challenging. Many of you are using technologies that did not exist 5, 10, and certainly not 35 years ago. I like to think in ways you're able to participate in the beauty that is America and Delaware, some small measure because of this amazing piece of legislation. But it's not just about legislation. It's not just about the substance of the law. It's about something that Secretary Gordon just mentioned, and that's human dignity. Us recognizing that everyone has some semblance of dignity. And the Americans with Disabilities Act recognizes that disability in everyone in our state. The ADA is actually not the American Disabilities Act. It's not the Disabilities Code of America. It's the Americans with Disabilities Act. At its core, this is about people. It's about Americans. It's about Delawareans. Ensuring that every person here is treated fairly by our laws, treated fairly by the infrastructure that we build and we upgrade, and being treated in the workplace and by society at large. At the end of the day, this is a law not about abilities or disabilities. It's about our friends, our families, and in Delaware, it's about neighbors. Here in Delaware, we're a state of neighbors. We look out for one another wherever we can, which is why our state government has worked and continues to work on improving accessibility whenever and wherever we can. I don't want to highlight our disagreements today, but I think it's fair to say Representative Neal, Representative Urick, and Senator Buxton do not agree on everything. There are a lot of things we can talk about where they do not agree, but not only do they agree on the importance of this, but they each chose to take their valuable time. We're not in session anymore. June 30th is over. I don't want to tell you, a lot of your colleagues are far, far away at a beach that's not as nice as the Delaware beaches. But you chose to be here today. So can we give them another round of applause? Also to our state treasurer, Colleen Davis, thank you for not just being here today, but your continued commitment to these issues, to the cabinet secretaries and all the state employees. Thank you. And Deborah, would you stand up? Deborah Yancey, can we give her a round of applause? Again, not just for just doing this today for this anniversary, but for what you're doing every day. So much of the work done by people in this room is work unseen, never seen by me, never seen by the state legislators, maybe never even seen by your boss or cabinet secretary. But it is what makes our state the state of neighbors, and nothing more important than what we're celebrating today. In the Department of State, we've improved physical accessibility in state buildings through oversight by the Architectural Accessibility Board and ADA coordinators. We've launched statewide digital accessibility initiatives to ensure websites and documents meet ADA standards. And we've strengthened accessible parking laws with stricter design standards, permitting and enforcement penalties. At the Department of Labor, thank you to Secretary Moultrie, our Division of Vocational Rehab is advancing employment opportunities through career exploration, training, and support services. We've seen growth in our inclusive workforce participation with 55% engagement. Has anyone seen those, any inclusive workplace participation effort? Anybody here seen them? It is extraordinary, taking individuals and we're not looking at what you can't do. We're looking at what you can do. We're employing you. We're paying you for it, and we want you to work hard to the maximum of your abilities. It is extraordinary, and I'm proud to say we live in a state with a Secretary of Labor that's investing every day to make sure we do that here, and we do it the best. We're developing employer partnerships involving recruitment, training, accommodation, incentives, and more. And we're also providing access to interpretation and communication services for Delawareans who are deaf or hard of hearing. At DHSS, our Department of Health and Social Services, we're promoting disability justice by fostering an inclusive, accessible workplace and supporting employment for individuals with developmental, physical, and visual disabilities. That includes a range of programs, such as Pathways to Employment for Youth, vocational rehab, technology training, a business enterprise program for the visually impaired, and employment services for low-income seniors. And among its over 4,000 staff members, our Department of Health and Social Services maintains a trauma-aware culture that empowers both employees and the broader community to succeed in meaningful work. That brings us to DTI, the Department of Technology and Information. I know several members on the team are here today. Our teams are pushing to create a digitally inclusive government with equal access for all. When we think about the new technologies of today and tomorrow, some of the risks and some of the opportunities, I want you to remember and think of the tremendous opportunity it creates to enable Delawareans to work to their maximum potential. Adaptive technologies, but only if we prioritize them as human beings and we decide to invest resources to put those things in place. DTI is doing that, implementing ADA-aligned standards, content remediation, and cross-agency training. DTI views disability justice as a core value in public service. On that note about disability justice, our theme for this year, for 2025, there is still work to be done. We can and we must be looking for ways to improve, to increase accessibility, expand accommodations, and keep up with the speedy pace of advancing technologies. As we mark this 35th year, this 35th anniversary of the ADA, let's be self-aware. Let's look in the mirror. Let's not pat ourselves on the back too much. Let's understand there's still work to be done. There are gaps to be filled. There are barriers still remaining, ones that keep some Delawareans from experiencing the same rights and opportunities as others. If someone who's wealthy is born in Delaware with a disability, do they have greater opportunities? Do they have greater access than someone without that wealth? I understand there are many people here today who are working so hard on that issue, and I want to say thank you for that. I'm just getting started. I look forward to working with many of you on filling those gaps and breaking down those barriers. Every positive decision we make or law that we pass is a useful step forward, one that moves us towards a future of true equity and disability justice, because Delaware is indeed a state of neighbors. And this statement today is not just about a small, discrete community. It's about all of us. It's about who we are. It's about every single neighbor who deserves to be treated with dignity, to feel respected, to be listened to, and to have every opportunity that everyone should have in 21st century America. So thank you so much. And let's not hold back in celebrating this 35th anniversary of a tremendous accomplishment for our country, the American with Disabilities Act. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. We're also honored to be joined by members of the General Assemblies whose voices continue to shape inclusive policy in Delaware. Please welcome State Senator Eric Buxton.
I'm more than honored.
So we know you're doing 2 minutes then. That's
I'll
it,
do
right?
2 minutes. I'll be briefer than that. Humble to be even offered the opportunity to speak. I am here solely out of the respect for the individuals who live the life every day and the family members who support their lives. As a member of the Joint Finance Committee, it was hard not to be emotional in speaking about some of the testimony that I received during some of those hearings. The impact that it had on me is not lost. That's why I'm here today, to absolutely show support in the easiest way I can, and that's to show up, and then to show support in listening to what it is that your needs and concerns are, and then to advocate, to facilitate. That's what I call myself. I'm not an innovator. You're the innovators. I stand here ready to facilitate your needs, and that's what I would like to offer to do in speaking to you. So I think I'll use my last 15 seconds to say simply this. To John and others in the room, you inspire me. Your presence inspires me. Continue to do what it is you do every day to show me and others like myself what it means to get up in the morning and be grateful and to know that you're blessed to live in this great country, in this great state. And I stand ready to support you. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
And now please welcome State Representative Deshauna Neal.
Good afternoon, everyone. I've been telling everyone I'm dragging today because I didn't have enough coffee, but the truth of the matter is I am the first legislator in this state to be a wheelchair user, to have a visible and sometimes not always visible disability. This heat, if you're in it, MS don't like it. And I want to kind of really give a shout out to John McNeil over here. When I came into office in 2022, I was in my wheelchair. And that was the first time I really allowed myself to be in it. Living with a disability, one that I didn't have growing up, and I'm thinking about the quote, "We're all one step away." I was a cheerleader, ballerina, track and field star, very active. I love hiking, I love camping. And then one day, my body said no more. There is nothing worse than trying to fit in a world that when I'm in a wheelchair, everyone's looking down at me. And they infantilize me when they speak to me. If I'm standing, then they're like, "Oh, you must be better." No, I'm just having a kind of good day, actually. And when I got into this space, I couldn't enter a room in Leg Hall because I was in a wheelchair. I had to do some kind of weird crisscross thing with my arms to open a door. And I will say, someone saw that, and over my first summer, after first session, they put a button so I could open the door. Sometimes the button doesn't work. One of the hardest things that happened this session was coming back and my wheelchair breaking on the first day of session. it completely snapped. We duct taped it because the comms department's awesome, but now it's unusable. So I forced my body to behave. And that's what a lot of people with disabilities have to deal with. We have to force our bodies to behave because society doesn't want to see it. And when John McNeil met me, and I was like, I got this new legislation that's been in the works for a very long time. His first question to me was, what is your personal stake in this? And I pointed to my walker and said, I have multiple sclerosis. There's not a day I don't find a place that's not accessible to me. And we went and got it done. We will have better parking in this state, that's for sure. 35 years, I'm 43. In 35 years, while we've made strides, there are still days where I cannot access a building. My home that I bought is no longer really accessible to me. And the idea of trying to figure out ways to find resources to come in and help me make it a little bit more accessible so I can stay there is next to none. Thinking about what DTI is doing, I would love, because I have another job, I'm a therapist too. When I did my training for trauma-informed care, it was on a PDF file, and I wished my computer could read to me. I would love to see DTI make it so that when we're reading legislation on our computer, it can read to us. Because one thing MS likes to mess with is our eyes. And also age. So, you know, Buxton, you getting up there. I think about what my representation means to the state of Delaware, someone who lives in a body that doesn't always want to work. Now I'm going to share this quick little story if that's okay. Over last year's election, I was sitting, I wish I was standing, I was in my wheelchair, sitting in my wheelchair at my election poll, and a person came up with their family member who, it was his first time voting, and he was wheelchair bound. When he saw me and asked who I was, I'm like, I'm State Representative Deshauna Neal. I have to use this sometimes. He said the first thing when he came out was like, it's good to know that someone else knows what it's like. This world can be harsh, but we deserve dignity. I might have a disability. I have children with autism, but I see it as a level up. Think of video games. I got an extra thing in my inventory. Look, me and John are gonna race in Leg Hall one day. I can move a little faster than some of you now when I'm in my wheelchair. I see the joy in what this disability has given me. I see so much more. And I think that's what we want all of you to see. We are so much more. There's the spoons theory. We may not always have spoons, but darn it, we'll use a knife and we will get by. And I'm so proud to have the advocates who helped me get here. And I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm gonna keep working. And I just thank you all for being here, and happy 35th anniversary.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from someone who has helped expand financial inclusion through programs like Delaware Able. Please welcome State Treasurer Colleen Davis.
Thank you all so much. It's a joy to be with you today. I also want to thank many members who are here. Governor Meyer, thank you so much for your dedication and your enthusiasm. Lieutenant Governor Kyle Evans-Gay, I understand, was planning to be here. I also just want to thank all the members of your cabinet who are here in dedication today, not only to celebrate, but every day to ensure that folks have a chance, including my good friend, Secretary Yvonne Anders Gordon, Richard Potter, who I know stepped out, but has been doing a phenomenal job. And I also want to thank you, John. It's great to see you here. It's great to see you every day, ensuring that people have a fighting chance, not only in employment here in our state, but all across the state. Again, I'm truly grateful to be with all of you. My office is proud to be part of supporting individuals with disabilities by administering the Dependable program. This is the program that Delaware's own ABLE program that ensures that folks are able to achieve a better life experience. It's our federal program that allows for individuals with disabilities acquired before the age of 26 to protect their Social Security and Medicaid benefits and also save for their future expenses. I'm grateful, you know, when we first started out in 2019, when I first took over the program, we had 23 open funded accounts. And we had someone reach out to us who was in his 50s working at Bank of America. Bank of America did a phenomenal job in deciding to close their wage parity and started to pay individuals $20 an hour at least at the lowest pay grade. This individual came to us in his, mid-50s, working with Down syndrome, was working 3 days a week and absolutely loved his routine, loved his job, and his coworkers loved having him. He was a bright part of everyone's day. And what he found was that he was going to have to cut back on his hours because of the increased pay. We talked to him, guided him through opening an ABLE account and ensuring that he did not have to change his routine. We also were able to talk to his family about taking advantage of the $5,000 tax deduction that's now available to every taxpayer who contributes to an ABLE account. We now are able to say that we have over 600 Delawareans with ABLE accounts. We have over $7.4 million currently being saved in those accounts. That is a massive impact for Delawareans who are living with disabilities. And it's because of the collaboration of everyone in this room. We haven't done it alone. We've done it with all of you. And I'm asking again to continue that work together. We are stronger together. We do so much more together. And again, I'm grateful. So I look forward to continued partnership with agencies and organizations across Delaware as we ensure that our family members, our friends, our neighbors with disabilities continue to receive support that they deserve. Thank you. Thank you so much. Making sure I'm being inclusive. Please take a few minutes.
It's coming up.
You good?
Yeah, I am. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Governor Meyer, for this very special day and the opportunity to share a little bit more about what it means to me. I'm going to bring up my good friend Jared Butler and his wife Janet Butler. Is it? What did I
You said wife.
say? Right.
My husband might get a little mad.
This is a story about the power of one. I met Jared approximately 5 years ago when he and his classmates through the John S. Charlton program through the Cesar Rodney School District came to Legislative Hall, and they were part of the Brew and Gold Club. They served coffee to teachers, staff at the John S. Charlton program and at the Allen Freer Elementary School. And they wanted to come in, and I thought it was a great idea for them to come in and share coffee and share a little bit more about them and their programs, individuals that have intellectual or physical disabilities. And at the time, Jared started to lobby me about probably one of his most favorite venues, the Delaware State Fair, which just concluded. So over the 5-year time period, Jarrett worked diligently to meet with a variety of stakeholders through the state board, through John, and eventually he got to the right person at the right time, then Speaker of the House, Valerie Longhurst. Well, Jarrett's initiative in making the case to then Speaker Longhurst was that the fair lacked an adequate facility, a shower and expanded bathrooms, which you probably saw near the livestock and the farms, as well as an additional tram car for individuals that needed to have easier access to get to the fair, which the fair, again, is a very special place. How many days were you at the fair this year?
10, all 10.
All 10. So with Jarrett's passion and persistence and commitment to the cause, he lobbied Speaker Longhurst for the availability of those resources, and through his efforts, and others, but predominantly led by Jarrett, he was able to help the State Fair secure the resources to build the ADA compliant bathroom/shower, as well as to purchase additional tram cars so that other individuals, just like Jarrett, could take in and experience what a great venue and experience the Delaware State Fair is. So I appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit more about my good friend Jarrett and his mother, Janet, and what he's done and shown that the power of one, what one person can do with the commitment and the passion and the cause. It wasn't about Jarrett. He gets to the fair easily, but it's his ability and his commitment to help others have accessibility to the fair. Thank you.
Thank you. You beat me by 8 days, I think, at the fair. Now it's my honor to introduce John McNeil. He's the Director of State Council for Persons with Disabilities. Today, John joins us not in his official capacity, but as a person who has graciously offered to share his lived experience and reflections on the ADA's lasting impact. Please join me in welcoming John McNeil.
Bring that a little bit closer. Just the papers, you can sit on here. I can hold it. Thank you. Want to hand me one of those microphones? Are you able to hear me okay? Okay, fantastic. Again, I'm a big believer. One of my fundamental beliefs in life, and one of my personal mantras is, the true measure of a man is not how tall he stands, but how much he's looked up to. And that's what we should all measure to be throughout society. It's all that we, as men and women, people with disabilities, and most of us who live our lives each and every day with the responsibilities of family and friends and being not just a part of the community, but members and active members in the community. I've had the great privilege, many of you know, as stated, I am the Director of the State Council for Persons with Disabilities. I'm also the former Del.Dot ADA coordinator, as well as the predecessor to Deb Yancey here as the statewide ADA coordinator. It's I'm nationally certified as a nationally certified ADA coordinator as well. But all of those titles mean very, very little to the title that I most enjoy, and that is father, friend, father of a 10-year-old boy who knows as much about ADA compliance as probably 99% of those of us who are making policy today. Fractions of an inch, if you got a 1/4 inch vertical difference, Tom Nickel back there, my good friend from Delaware, ADA coordinator, will tell you it's out of compliance. There's no walk that I go through any place that my son doesn't say, that's illegal, that's illegal, that's illegal. And I'm like, please stop saying that's illegal. It's non-compliant, but we can fix things that are non-compliant. We're not putting people in jail for 1/2 inch cracks in sidewalks. But no, I just want to recognize that today I'm speaking on behalf of my own experience and how proud I am to be here with the great people that I'm here with. First, I want to say, let me extend my sincere gratitude to Governor Meyer, Secretary Gordon, and the leadership at the Department of Human Resources and the many other agencies that are right here. Thank you also to this, sorry, I'm old, my eyes just aren't as good as they used to be. Yeah. So if you're wearing a pair of glasses, you are actually, and I say this without any humor, you are protected by the Americans with Disabilities Act. So when we talk about those who are affected, you don't have to look far. You're within an arm's length of somebody who either has a disability or you have a disability yourself. So, thank you also for the dedicated policymakers and elected officials who have joined us today. Your presence is appreciated, and your efforts on behalf of the disability communities are recognized. While it is important that we acknowledge and appreciate these efforts, I want to make it clear about why we are gathered. We are here today not just to celebrate a proclamation or mark a date on the calendar, but to reflect on the promises made 35 years ago. A promise embodied by the Americans with Disabilities Act. This was never just about having a day of recognition. The ADA was a law designed to pave the way towards equality, inclusion, and justice. Yet, even 3.5 decades later, we must recognize that we still encounter more resistance than true progress. The promise remains unfinished, and the work is far from over. To ground us in the moment, let me remind us all of the 2010 definition of the persons with disabilities. Someone who has a physical or mental impairment and substantially limits one or major life activities. The broader understanding reflects the evolving nature of disability, ensuring protections that are both inclusive and responsive. For me, the celebration is deeply personal. 35 years ago, in just a few short weeks, on August 12th, a motorcycle accident changed the course of my life, making me forever a person with a disability. While that injury reshaped my physical world, it did not define my goals, my aspirations, or my purpose. I identify proudly as a person with a disability, but my identity is not confined by that. What has truly defined me are the lessons that I've learned since that accident, lessons taught by extraordinary Delaware leaders such as Jamie Wolf, Ray Hunt, Larry Henderson, and Griff Campbell. These champions shared their raw truth, not just for people like me, but policymakers and the broader public. Their courage laid a bedrock of progress, illuminating both the successes achieved and the longer road still ahead. The legacy casts a shadow of inspiration and accountability, urging us to ask, where are we today? Are we fully complying with the spirit and the letter of the ADA? Or are we advancing the core goals that the act enshrined: equal opportunity, full participation, independent living, and economic self-sufficiency for all Americans with disabilities. These goals are not abstract ideals. They represent lived realities, daily battles to ensure that public spaces, education, employment, and healthcare are accessible to every individual. This means affirming the dignity and the rights of every person to live independently, ambitiously, and on their own terms. Yet it's no secret in 2025 the disability community faces new and concerning challenges. Federal rollbacks and protections under Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act threaten to unravel civil rights gains. Proposed Medicaid cuts threaten life, health, and independence for countless individuals and families. These are not just policy issues. They are matters of survival and human dignity. This moment also brings an important recognition. The proclamation from our governor and leadership of our great state, represented by those gathered here today, is not simply an acknowledgement of the accomplishments. It's a commitment not only to honor the promises made 35 years ago, but to confront the new challenges before us with the same tenacity and courage. We have reason to be hopeful because alongside the commitment stands a vibrant new generation of leaders, advocates like Benjamin Schrader, Craig, and Matt Klitsby, who are with us here today. My good friend Jason, who is a champion as well. People like Maitree Campbell, Emmanuel Jenkins, and Roxanne O'Laughlin. They are the torchbearers who carry forward the lessons of champions like Denise McMullen-Powell, Terry Hancherick, Rita Landgraf, Kyle Hodges, Wendy Strauss, and so many others whose shoulders we stand upon. It is also vital that we recognize who have taken up the cause, those who have bravely attempted to follow in the footsteps of our pioneering leaders, individuals like Pam Ware, Kristen Harvey, our good friends, and like ones that stand beside me, like Deborah Yancey and Tom Nickel. Their unwavering commitment reminds us that the battles that we face today should be unnecessary, and yet they persist, so that no challenge goes unnoticed and no fundamental right is lost without resolute advocacy. Their courage demonstrates that every step forward is a hard one. And their tenacity ensures our collective voice remains strong, insistent, and impossible to ignore. This continuum of leadership is hopeful and powerful. It fortifies our work here in Delaware and beyond. I'm profoundly excited at having strong partnerships in our new governor and committed members of our legislature, Representative Neal, Senator Buxton, Senator Poore, Representative Heffernan, a longtime champion, and countless others who are not content merely with observing history, but eager to write the next chapters. Their understanding of the maximum extent feasible standard enshrined in the ADA's language sets a high bar. They recognize that the burden of achieving true equity, inclusion, and accessibility must not fall solely on the shoulders of people with disabilities. It's a shared responsibility, one that requires clear vision, collaboration, and relentless determination. As we honor the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, let us collectively renew our commitment not only to the laws themselves, but to the spirit. Let us be vigilant and curious about the gaps, persistent in advocacy against rollbacks, fearless in innovation, and courageous in demanding full inclusion. The promise of the ADA is a promise to all of us that opportunity, dignity, and access will never be privileges for the few, but the rights of all of us. Thank you very much.
We now invite Governor Meyer back to the front to lead us in the official signing of the ADA proclamation. Anyone interested that wishes to be a part of the photo shoot and the actual proclamation, please come up, everybody. As they're coming up, let me move this along and thank you again to all of our speakers, partners, and attendees, including those joining us via live stream. Your continued support moves this work forward. Together, we are building a more inclusive, accessible, and equitable Delaware. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
And me and Rachel were talking about you doing a repost. I promise if you look at it,
Talk to Andrew, see the guy right
Yeah,
there?
I did.
You talking about, all right, cool. Yeah, we'll
Yeah, that's all right, you're good.
I think you'll like
Good.
the speech.
Good. Today is the 28th. So this is the 35th year and second day anniversary, right? July 26th, 1990. Does she want to sit in front? Have her come in front right here. She wants. I'm just learning the art of signing my name with multiple pens. It is, warning to those photographing of it, it is not as easy as it looks. We are now recognizing the 35th anniversary of the American with Disabilities Act across the state of Delaware. Good job. You got it? Jared? You got it? Bridget. 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 Thank you. Here you go. All right. Thank you for the two of you guys. Thanks so much. All right.